Welcome to the IELTS reading lesson. Today we will study IELTS 17 Test 2 Passage 1, The Dead Sea Scrolls. This passage has 13 questions. The first 5 are note completion questions, and the last 8 are true or false questions. Based on the method, we divide the questions into 3 types: synonym replacement, logic comparison, and keyword location. Knowing the types helps us find answers quickly and improve our efficiency. The article has 7 paragraphs. It is a typical historical and archaeological explanatory text. From passage 1 to 3, introduction to the discovery, origin, and languages of the Dead Sea Scrolls. From passage 4 to 5, introduction to the content and materials of the scrolls, including the copper scroll. From passage 6 to 7, introduction to the modern history and latest research of the scrolls. The heat map shows, note completion questions are in passages 1 to 3, true/false questions cover the whole article. Next is the note completion for Q1-5. One-word limit, mostly extracted directly from the text. Let's look at question 1. The note says a shepherd threw something and heard a breaking sound. The word before the blank tells us we need a singular countable noun. Go to paragraph 1 and find the sentence about the shepherd throwing something. The original text says tossed a rock. The answer word rock is directly given in the text, no replacement needed. So the answer to question 1 is rock. Let's look at question 2. The note says they went into the ____________, meaning they entered a place. The clue word is went into, which means entering a place. The blank is after the, so the answer should be a singular noun. Locate paragraph 1 and look for a word that means entering a place. The text says he and his companions later entered the cave. Entered matches went into, and cave is the answer. This word is directly given in the original text, no replacement needed. So the answer to question 2 is cave. Let's look at question 3. The statement says the shepherd stumbled across a collection of large jars. It asks what material these jars were made of. The clue word is clay from large clay jars. It directly tells us the material. Locate paragraph 1 and scan for the keyword jars. The original text says stumbled across a collection of large clay jars. The word clay directly gives us the answer. So the answer to question 3 is clay. Let's look at question 4. The note mentions a group name. We need to find the name of this group. Before the blank is a group called, and after it is a comma. So, this blank should be a proper noun. A group is mentioned at the end of paragraph 2. Let's scan it. The original text says the people are thought to have belonged to a group called the Essenes. The answer word Essenes appears directly here. So the answer to question 4 is Essenes. Let's look at question 5. The note says the texts were written mainly in which language? The blank is after mainly in the, so we need a language name. The clue words are mainly in the, so we need a language name. The blank is after the, so it's a singular noun. Let's go to paragraph 3. The first sentence says the majority of the texts are in Hebrew. This directly matches mainly in the note. The original text says the majority of the texts are in Hebrew. The answer word Hebrew appears directly in the text, so no replacement is needed. So the answer to question 5 is Hebrew. Let's look at question 6. The Bedouin teenagers who found the scrolls were disappointed by how little money they received for them. Key clue words, disappointed and how little money. Locate paragraph 1. The scanning landmark is sold for a small sum. The original text says, the teenagers took the 7 scrolls to a nearby town where they were sold for a small sum to a local antiquities dealer. It only mentions the low price. The statement says the teenagers were disappointed, but the text only mentions the low price. It does not describe their feelings at all. This is making up information, not a direct contradiction. So the answer to question 6 is not given. Let's look at question 7. There is agreement among academics about the origin of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Key clue words are agreement and origin. Locate paragraph 2. The scanning landmark word is scholarly debate. The original text says, the origin is still the subject of scholarly debate. The statement says there is agreement, but the text says it is still the subject of scholarly debate. This is an opposite meaning, a direct contradiction. So the answer to question 7 is false. Let's look at question 8. The statement says, most of the books of the Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. Key clue words, most books and incomplete. Locate paragraph 4. The scanning landmark is fragments from every book. The original text says, include fragments from every book, meaning it contains pieces of every book. The statement says most books are incomplete, and the text says fragments from every book. Fragments mean incomplete. This is a synonym replacement. So the answer to question 8 is true. Let's look at question 9. The information on the copper scroll is written in an unusual way. Please pause the video and decide true or false yourself. The key clue word in the statement is unusual way. Locate paragraph 5. The scanning landmark words in the text are unconventional vocabulary and odd spelling. The original text uses the phrase unconventional vocabulary and odd spelling, which directly indicates an unusual writing style. The phrase unusual way in the statement is a direct synonym for unconventional vocabulary and odd spelling in the text. They match perfectly. So the answer to question 9 is true. Let's look at question 10. Mar Samuel was given some of the scrolls as a gift. Please pause the video and try it yourself first. Key clue in the question, given as a gift. Locate paragraph 6. Scanning landmark words, Mar Samuel, acquired, paying. The text says, Mar Samuel acquired 4 scrolls from a shoemaker, paying less than $100. The original phrase is paying less than $100. The question says given as a gift, but the text clearly says he paid money to buy them. This is an opposite meaning replacement, they directly contradict each other. So the answer to question 10 is false. Let's look at question 11. The statement says, in the early 1950s, some U.S. educational institutions were keen to buy scrolls from Mar Samuel. Key clue words, keen to buy and educational establishments. Locate paragraph 6. The scanning landmark words are Mar Samuel and universities. The text says, he unsuccessfully offered them to a number of universities. The original phrase is unsuccessfully offered. The statement says keen to buy, but the text says unsuccessfully offered, meaning the universities did not want to buy. This is an opposite paraphrase, a direct contradiction. So the answer to question 11 is false. Let's look at question 12. The statement says the scroll pieced together in 2017 contains information about annual occasions in the Qumran area 2,000 years ago. The key clue word is annual occasions. Locate paragraph 7. The scanning landmark word in the text is yearly religious events. The original text uses yearly religious events, describing that the scroll details 2 yearly religious events. The question phrase annual occasions is a synonym for the original phrase yearly religious events. They match perfectly. So the answer to question 12 is true. Let's look at question 13. Academics at the University of Haifa are currently researching how to decipher the final scroll. Key clue words, currently researching and decipher the final scroll. Locate paragraph 7. The scanning landmark words are University of Haifa and scroll. The original text says, only one more known scroll remains untranslated. The statement says academics are currently researching how to decipher it, but the text only says the scroll remains untranslated. There is no mention of current research at all. This is a classic invented information case. Note, it's not false because the text doesn't say research is not happening, it just doesn't mention it. So the answer to question 13 is not given. Now we move to the trick summary. Let's review 3 common traps. Trick 1, opposite meaning. The statement directly contradicts the text. For example, Q7 and Q10, the statement says A, but the text says the opposite B. Trick 2, subject swap. The statement changes the main subject from the text. For example, Q11, the statement says A did something, but the text says B did it. Trick 3, missing information. The statement's idea is not in the text at all. For example, Q6 and Q13, the concept in the statement is completely missing from the text. Remember, first find the text, then compare. Do not add your own ideas. Now let's summarize the key vocabulary and paraphrases from this passage. Q8, incomplete in the statement means fragments from every book in the text. Q9, unusual way in the statement means unconventional vocabulary and odd spelling in the text. Q12, annual occasions in the statement means yearly religious events in the text. Key terms for completion: rock, cave, clay, Essenes, Hebrew. This is the end of the intensive reading for Test 2 Passage 1. Thank you for watching.